Now, Paddy Cullivan is a creator of what he calls historical entertainments. Previous shows include The Murder of Michael Collins and The Two Murders of Wolfe Tone, which he's performed all over Ireland and elsewhere. His latest is an audiovisual spectacular called I Can't Believe It's Not Ireland. Paddy described it for me.
In the first half, I bring us up to a vote in 2030, where people on both sides of the island vote for what we will call a United Ireland. But I didn't want to call it United Ireland, because everybody thinks you're just going to throw the 6 counties on top of the other 26 and have the tricolour and all of that. And I'm saying, no. This is the opportunity to build a brand new country. And using visuals and comedy and music and everything, I project, and AI especially, I use a lot of AI imagery to project like a new capital city, a new flag, a new anthem. And it's for both sides of the community. That's the joy of this, is that this show, like as much as I've done it everywhere, it's been totally mixed audiences from both Protestant and Catholic backgrounds coming along and just seeing what it's about. And I've made this show for both sides. So you believe it or not, I did it in Belfast to a predominantly nationalist crowd at one point, and I suggested that we would have Southern Tato in the future United Ireland instead of Northern. I thought that Northern nationalists would be mad about Southern Tato, but no, they love their yellow Tato and their Tato Castle in Tandragee. We got to a compromise. It all worked out in the end. Southern Tato became the official Tato, but we kept the headquarters in Tandragee.
Oh.
That's the funny element, but I do go into serious elements as well, which is, what will the future capital city be? Will it be Belfast or Dublin? Belfast is a far better Parliament building at Stormont, but imagine Cork people trying to find their way to Belfast. I mean, imagine. They can't even find their way out of Cork. So I settle on a new capital in the middle of the country, to misquote Gilbert O'Sullivan, Athlone again, not Tralee. We build a circular Parliament building and all of this type of thing. And then I go into serious things like flags. Like the tricolour in my mind is a divisive flag. It's all about identity, and one side is green and one side is orange. I think we need one symbol for one people. And a new anthem as well, talking about how great we are and how wonderful we are, instead of battles and wars. All anthems are like that. So it all sounds like a bit of fun on top, but there's lots of serious intent and serious research into it. And what would make both people happy, and what will make all the people on this island happy? We have a great chance to make a whole new country. And that's why I say in 2032, 2 years after the election, everybody wakes up and goes, I can't believe it's not Ireland. Just like I can't believe it's not butter. And it won't be butter. It'll be better.
I already get the sense, Paddy, of how funny it is, but also how it really can lead to discussion, like proper discussion about these subjects, because we hear endless debates about the pros and cons of what a shared island may or may not be like. But it really focuses the mind, in a sense, doesn't it, on the actual practicalities of what our daily lives might be like what shops we'll go to, the things we'll buy.
Absolutely. And I mean, of course, one of the things that sways it is that no one can actually get their head around Northern Irish sterling. I mean, different banknotes from different banks. You bring that into a bar in London and sorry, mate, I can't take this. It's monopoly money. But it's more than that. It's that I'm trying to get people to get their heads around, especially in the South as well, to say the Protestant contribution to Irish history has been incredible. Like, it's Protestants Presbyterians who left in the 1700s and gave us the American Republic. We had the United Irishmen and Wolfe Tone's wonderful message of getting rid of all dissensions and just calling ourselves the common name of Irishmen, to great people like W.B. Yeats. What is Irish poetry around the world without the Anglo-Irish contribution? What is literature without it? And you see, I find this idea of Irishness being just about being here for 5,000 years and speaking Irish and all of that to be such a misnomer when you think of the contribution of Protestants to this place and how important it was. And in the opening of the show, I have a loyalist taxi driver going down to Dublin for the very first time. And when he gets to Dublin, he realises it's the most English city he's ever been in his life. And in fact, he has to run back to Belfast to feel at home again, because there isn't one building in Dublin that doesn't have the prefix royal in front of it. There are lots of these things in our history which are just totally counterintuitive and counteractive and things like that. But I think that the more people travel and see things and understand each other. And that's the whole point of my show, is to get into the other person's head and to see, where do we get on? Where are the places that we agree?
So true. And the idea that, I guess for a younger generation of people, younger people feel they can pick and choose from whichever sort of cultural events or happenings that they want to. Whereas those of us who are a little bit older sometimes feel marshalled into being one way or the other. And you're saying that it's time to, break all this down. And theatre, drama, comedy is a terrific way of doing it.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying forget the past, but just put it in the past, guys, because the problem is we seem to have all these nostalgia acts. I'm not going to get specific, but there seems to be this nostalgia to other times and older times. And I mean, I laugh. I'm just back from a sold-out American tour, which was fantastic. And over there, people don't realise that half of Irish America is Protestant, half is Catholic. And yet this is where country music comes from Elvis comes from. All of these different things that we also love, we also bring into our lives. And it's I don't call it cultural appropriation. I call it enjoying your life and enjoying the produce of the world.
It could be a mission for government, Paddy. You've never been tempted to try and, get into the political arena. The idea of just trying to understand things from the other person's point of view, it's so simple, and yet it's something that I don't think happens very much.
Well, no, I mean, my show does definitely not come from a zero-sum game where, someday it's going to... The day isn't coming where you win. The day is already here where you live, and the day is here where you try and find agreement. So whatever nostalgia act or nostalgia trip you want to be on, great, enjoy it in the privacy of your own home, a little bit like religion itself. But the future belongs to all of us, and we can all actually get together and create it's such a fun thing, like a Meccano set where we can create a brand new country. So when you come along to the show in Armagh, like another incredible example of a city and a place that's very little known in the south, but is such an incredibly interesting place, like Downpatrick, places like this. This show is a hopeful show about the future. There's a lot of history in there too. But if you want to come along and feel a sense of hope at the end of the night, I think that's where I'm going with this. I find it funny how the South and the North, they still think that our two biggest tourist things are a museum to a ship that sank and a brewery. And there's so much more going on, or there's so much more going on in the North and in the South. And the further we travel and the more we share our experiences, the more we're going to make an incredible island.
That's Paddy Cullivan with a very welcome, positive message for our future, which, as he says, belongs to all of us. I Can't Believe It's Not Ireland is on for one night only at the Marketplace Theatre in Armagh. It's next Friday night, the 16th of May at 8 p.m.